Hey everybody, it is Kerry, and I have a bit of a story for you today. When I was out at Easter Jeep Safari, I wasn't doing any trails. I went out there, I was camping, I was going to the vendor expo, and I get to my campsite and I notice a little bit of oil on the ground. That was strange. Had recently changed the oil, 2 weeks prior. There shouldn't have been any issues. There wasn't any spills or anything. So I was a little concerned, but checked it. Everything seemed fine. I'm like, okay, let's see how it goes. And I go to the vendor expo and I come back and it is dumping oil. It dumped over a quart of oil. I'm like, well, that's not good. That's not good at all. And we tried to head back. Well, it was me and John from Trails Off-Road. We were going to convoy back, and it was just dumping so much oil. We decided not to risk it, and I worked out, long story, on how to get it from Moab all the way back here to northern Colorado. Well, take it to the shop, and what we discovered was the engine was blown. It seems like a rocker pin had failed and broke some other stuff, and metal went through the engine. It destroyed cylinders 1 and 3. It shredded the bearings, the cam, the seals. I mean, it just destroyed the engine. So time for a new engine. Now, we didn't do an upgrade. We got a replacement 3.6 that we had in it, but there's a lot more to this story, and that's why I'm making this video. Now, I had an extended warranty through a company called Route 66. They had covered another repair that was like $247, not a big deal, but they decided, well, we need to send an inspector out to double check the damage, check everything, and validate the warranty claim, because replacing an engine is not a cheap thing. And we'll get to exactly what I ended up paying for all that in a little bit. They send an inspector out, he writes a report. 2 weeks go by waiting for them to approve the warranty claim. They finally came back and denied it. And this is what you need to be aware of if you have a third-party extended warranty. The reason why they denied the claim is they said I did not have an addendum to my warranty contract that covered a lifted vehicle. Well, fine, okay, but they had never asked me for one. They knew it was a Jeep Wrangler. They never asked me if I had a lift. There was no discussion of it. There's nothing in any documentation that says if you have a lifted vehicle, you need something, you need another addendum. There was nothing like that. So with no knowledge to myself, I guess I was supposed to have this lifted vehicle coverage. Didn't have it, they denied the claim. So if you have an extended warranty through some other company, call them, make sure that they cover lifted vehicles, any modifications, things like that, off-road use. Double check before you need to use that warranty. So let's talk about how we went about getting it fixed. Well, first, I had to find a motor. And at first, we had a line on a brand new motor, which was very expensive, $7,500. It was outside of my budget that I wanted to pay to get something that was brand new, put in a vehicle that's got 102,000 miles on it. We tried and tried and tried to find a replacement motor. It took me a week to find a motor. Well, a few days anyway. It took me a few days to find a motor. I finally found a good motor at a company called Ruby Trucks out of South Carolina. Now, I'm in Colorado, so it needed to get shipped over here. And they had a motor that had 2,500 miles on it. The cost of that motor was $4,500 with $450 shipping. Now, they were packing it up and getting ready to ship it. They realized something about that motor and called me and they said, Kerry, I'm so sorry. Well, thank you for not selling me an engine that had been boosted. That's probably asking for some problems. Instead, they had another motor that had 6,000 miles on it, still very good, basically brand new, considering when I bought the vehicle, it had 18,000 miles on it. So that's 12,000 less than the engine I had on it when I bought it. And they offered it to me for the same price, the $4,500, but they waived the $450 shipping for the inconvenience. So props to Ruba Trucks for customer service, making sure that I got a good engine shipped over here. $4,500, not cheap, but it's a good, strong, solid, very, very good condition motor. That got shipped directly to the shop. I used Christian Brothers Automotive here in Berthoud because they're right down the street from me. They've done a lot of work on the vehicle. Trusted them to do the engine swap, and they got it in. So what was the labor cost on that? The labor cost was $4,634. So all in, I'm just a shade over $9,000 to get it up and running. It was down for 32 days, waiting for the warranty, waiting for the engine, waiting for the install. So 32 days of not having the Jeep, not being able to create content, very, very frustrating. But we have the engine installed. It is running absolutely great. It sounds better than it ever did. It's super smooth, got plenty of power. I actually seem to be getting a 2 miles per gallon better gas mileage around town. I was getting like 16.5 yesterday. Pretty impressed with that. So overall, I'm not gonna say I'm super happy because I'm out 9 grand, but the Jeep is up and running. But I wanted to make this video to make people aware about how these warranty companies can actually screw you over just because they don't want to pay out a warranty claim. So absolutely check your fine print, call and ask if they need a lift waiver or something on it. Make sure you do that because it would have cost me nothing to have the engine replaced versus having to shell out of pocket a whole lot of money. But all that said and done, the Jeep is up and running. We're in good shape. We're getting ready to hit some trails. We're gonna go to an event today, go do a shakedown run, probably over on Slaughterhouse Gulch, and make sure everything's running properly before we head out for something bigger. Because in 2 weeks, I have to leave for Overland Expo in Arizona. That's a 1,600 mile round trip. I want to make sure that this thing is in tip-top shape. But right now, it's doing pretty good. Now, something to note about the engine swap itself. This is a 2018. The motor we got, I'm not exactly sure what year it came out of, but this is April of 2024, an engine that only had 6,000 miles on it. It's a safe bet it was probably a 2023. I doubt it was a 24. I just doubt that. It was probably a 23. And there are some differences in the motor. It's not as easy as pulling it out, putting a new one in and plugging everything back in. There was a different wiring harness that they had to get for it because some things like some sensors were in some different locations. So some weirdnesses about the motor between the 18 and whatever year this is. So something to be aware of if you need to do a motor swap in something like this, that there may be some differences that may add to the cost a little bit in having to get a different wiring harness. But all in, I'm just glad that Optimus is back on the road. We're back up and running. We're ready to hit some trails. It sounds way better than it has in a long, long time. And I'm very excited to get back out and start making some more content. But I wanted to let people know what was going on, how the warranty company failed me, why we've been not producing any content for a while. Actually, since the beginning of the year, we have hit 2 trails, and it's all because of issues that we've had with the Jeep or weather. There was a lot of snow that kept us homebound, but we had on the other engine, we had the oil cooler fail. We had valve cover leaks. We had a wiring harness problem that took us months to figure out. And it turned out there was broken connectors, broken wires. So we had to replace pieces of the wiring harness. We finally got all that stuff put together, and then the engine blew. So it has been a very, very rough start here to 2024. But I want to thank everybody for sticking with us. I hope you've enjoyed some of the product videos that we've done. We have some more coming up: refrigerators, power stations, all kinds of things, radios. I'd like to do product reviews of things that I find relevant to off-roading and overlanding. So you're going to see some more of that, but we're getting ready to start making some more trail videos. So very excited about that. Some of you have asked about getting bonus content, behind the scenes stuff, extra videos, extra photos, maybe early access to some videos that we're doing, GPS tracking files, waypoints, things like that. And the only way we could figure out how to do that was via Patreon. So if you go to patreon.com/trailtraveler, you can sign up as a Patreon member and get access to bonus content, bonus files and things that we're going to be putting out in the near future. There's already some stuff on there. We're doing like previews of products that we've just got in. So hopefully we're going to make it worthwhile for people to join Patreon to get that extra stuff. So again, from Katarina and myself, thanks for watching. Thanks for all you guys who subscribe to the channel, all of you who have stuck with us while we've had all these problems this year. We're very excited to get out and make some new stuff. From all of us, be safe out there. We'll see you on the trails.